Production underwriting for Ruckus has been made possible in part by the generous contributions from Fred and Lou Hartwig and from viewers like you. Thank you.
Welcome to Ruckus, our weekly food for thought fight over the news of the day and the trends of the times. Joining Woody, Mary, Yale, and me this evening is Steve Glorioso, well-known political analyst and consultant. Gwen is off this week. You probably could have figured that out by yourself. Kansas City Star's editorial board, of which Yale is a prominent part, is dealing with two long-term area issues that are as yet unresolved. Should there be local control of the police department? And should a streetcar system be built between River Market and Crown Center? The Star's editorial answers are yes and no. So Yale, which answer goes with which question?
Well, it's yes to the local control, and we've discussed this topic on here a number of times, and fairly soon, probably by mid-2013, St. Louis will gain control of their police department, thanks to the vote of the people of Missouri. And Kansas City will be the only city in the nation, essentially without accountability to local elected officials of its police department. We think that's wrong, and we think that needs to be rectified. I'm very chagrined to report that, Mayor Sly James said, well, I can't do this between now and 2014. It's going to take another year or so.
Does he say why? Yeah,
because you have some people, the police board people obviously still reject it, but you have some business leaders in town who think it could be bad. They look at, and Woody and I have discussed this before a little bit on here, where you have business leader looking at how much power the fire department has. Well, hell, give the police department, which is even bigger power. My response naturally would be, well, every other major city in the nation is able to deal with this. Kansas City will be able to deal with this, local accountability. So I just think that there are so many arguments for doing it. They need to get it done. The General Assembly is where they could probably get it done quickest if they could get it done next year. I don't see why the Missouri, General Assembly would stand in the way, except they'll say, well, you're not really organized there in Kansas City. That's what the mayor says he's going to do. He's going to talk to people. That's his way of doing it, is getting everybody rowing in the right direction, or the same direction. So, yes, we're for it. We think it'll happen.
Anybody here opposed to local control of the police department? I know we've talked about this several times on the program.
And I also think the mayor is somewhat not tangled, but very involved with the negotiations on the pensions.
Absolutely, yeah.
And there is some pushback, I understand, by the police saying, yeah, we in the negotiations, yeah, but you want to have local control, and most of the police here don't, which is another reason why we ought to have it. But also, the interesting thing is that the city, to show you the popularity of it, in Kansas City, Proposition A got a higher percentage by double digits than the city of St. Louis did. And cities like Springfield, 75% of the voters voted. So I think to the public, it's such a no-brainer.
Well, that's because you worked on it, Steve.
Well, that could be. Thank you, Mary.
Well, let me just say
Despite Glorioso's
no, I thought I'd just point that out to our viewers. I am really pleased that this has passed ever since I moved here. No one's ever been able to explain this strange turn of events. But what it really shows is how resilient our political system is. Everybody's always said, well, this can't be changed. It just can't be changed, mainly because the Kansas City Star didn't support it for many, many years. But now they've changed their tune. And I think the people who have served on the governor-appointed police board are very reasonable people. And even though there's an infrastructure there that will not have any prominent part to play in the future, I think the city's ready to go.
All right, Yale, next take on the strong mayor and get that part of Kansas City government. Now let's talk about the streetcar system, the 2-mile system downtown that's being voted on now and I guess primed for success. But the Star says City Hall should start over and dump this process and begin something else.
Right. Well, to be very clear, I was on the losing end of that in the editorial page. I support the streetcar system. I think we've got to finally get started on. So that's on my personal opinion. But one of the things that has driven even me crazy on this whole thing is the the slow motion election, the essentially voter suppression effort by the supporters of using the state law of only selected people, and you got to get this, and they're going to have possibly 600 to 700 people vote on something out of 3,600 or 3,200 registered voters, and in an area where it's going to be millions and millions of dollars coming from taxpayers in the area.
And one of the points the Star editorial made is that it raises taxes downtown,
right.
And that's a legitimate concern, is it not, Woody? And shocking that the Star would raise it.
Well, they want to raise taxes on the suburbs, not on downtown, not on their beloved downtown. Look, when you go around by the back door, people become suspicious that there's a reason you went around by the back door. And that's what the supporters have chosen to do. They've taken the TDD statute, the Transportation Development District state statute, and they've said, aha, here's a back door we can get through. Because obviously what they're afraid of is they actually put it to a vote of all the people of Kansas City. Right. That it'll get voted down. And I'm not at all sure it would get voted down.
Good point.
We started out to have a plan, something like this, when Emanuel Cleaver was mayor, and he jumped on it with hobnails boots and killed it immediately. And I think it might have won back then if you'd put it on the ballot. I think this might win today. And if you did, then you really would have the beginning of something, which they say is what they're trying to do. When they get this thing built, they haven't got the beginning of anything. At some point, they've got to go to all the voters. And all the voters haven't endorsed this. Just 700 people will have endorsed it.
When you refer to Cleaver, that's the touristy frou-frou comment he made while you were with Kay Barnes working in her office during her tenure as mayor. She was a big supporter of light rail. How do you react to this proposal?
Light rail has
the one downtown.
Yeah, been defeated.
Mass transit, but what?
And Kay put a light rail on the ballot, a pretty good plan. It was defeated. You know, I'm kind of mixed about it. I think it's okay. I think the method is abhorrent. It's a poll tax on top of a literacy test to be able to vote.
Oh, yeah. And the problem is that you need all this density in order to get enough money to make the tax work, and that density doesn't exist in the connecting.
Which is why when City Manager Troy Schulte told me that, I was like, well, then you really need to start now going to a wider, and this is the Star's viewpoint, go to a wider tax system. The sales tax, of course, just for example, would not be as high as it is in this little area. It'd be much lower for the entire area.
We got to go now to a wider topic, and I'm not sure it took an economic study to reach this conclusion, but there was one done for the Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. The conclusion is that 2013 could be a good year for the Kansas City economy, or a bad one. To a large extent, it depends on what happens with the so-called fiscal cliff. If the Congress and President don't reach resolution by year's end, taxes will go up, federal spending will go down, and some experts say another recession will occur. So, Mary, if we do go over the cliff, economists say we're going to lose a couple of thousand jobs locally. Averting the cliff will result in creating 10 times that many, over 20,000 in 2013, 20,000 in 2014. Forecast for us, what do you think 2013 is going to be, a good year or a bad year economically for Kansas City?
That's just the most open-ended question you've ever asked.
I like to give you those because Mary, you can take them in many directions.
What's going to happen if we go over it? First of all,
no, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the fiscal cliff will be averted? Question number one.
Yes, I do, in part.
Okay.
In part. The president yesterday had his first press conference on this subject and many others, the fiscal cliff and the Petraeus tryst, or whatever you want to call it. First of all, what's going to happen, I think, the first thing that will be tried, and God help us, I hope it passes, will be a continuation of the tax cut for the middle class. That bill already exists in Congress. It's ready to go. It's passed the Senate, and it could easily pass the House. The question is, what do we do about the tax on people making
well, given the fact,
2%?
Mary, that almost everyone, I think, agrees that not averting the cliff is not a good thing for the economy, do you think it's fair to assume now that some solution, temporary or permanent, will be achieved before year's end?
Oh, well, before this year's end, next year's end.
Well, no, this is the one where the fiscal cliff is concerned. Yeah.
In part, I mean, that depends upon whether the Republicans in the House, well, the president spoke yesterday, and he was strong and adamant. This was a president that we haven't seen in the first 4 years because he just won an election by campaigning on this issue. And what effect it would have on if we went, if all the tax cuts were revoked, and people had a increase in their taxes. People at the top had an increase in their taxes. I don't think would affect the local.
Let's get some
economy
other
that
thoughts
much.
in here. Will somebody answer the question? Do you think the fiscal cliff will be averted by year's end?
I think it will be averted, and I'll be very interested in what he thinks about the Republican involvement. But I think the Democrats obviously are ready to vote for the higher taxes. I really need to get, they really need to get in the room and say, yes, we'll also reduce some spending. But I'm afraid it will be what you mentioned, a temporary, one of these 6-month extensions.
Maybe
that's going to be okay. They can do it next Congress, but I think they will avert it.
Is it crucial to the Kansas City economy?
Well, it's crucial to the national economy. Look, the fiscal cliff is one of those contrived events that politicians love. Because they all get to pretend to be statesmen or to pretend to fight for their base or whatever it is they need to pretend to do. We have a long-term problem involving a $16 trillion debt and growing. The fiscal cliff is a nice short 30-day thing that they can then bump back for 6 months and play at us again, which does nothing significant about that $16 trillion and growing debt. That's the fiscal cliff.
But what Obama has said, though, Steve, is that make a solution available for this particular issue, the fiscal cliff, that gets us past the end of the year, then work on long-term tax reform.
I don't think that's what he intends to do, and I hope he doesn't.
That's what he said.
Well, no, because here's the...
You think he says things he doesn't intend to do?
We need to let the car go over the cliff. Just let it go.
Okay.
Because at that moment, there's not enough votes to restore the tax cuts for the wealthy, and the Republicans are not going to vote against a bill that will come shortly thereafter, cutting taxes for the middle class. If we delay it, it runs into the next debt ceiling, and that then puts the advantage, the leverage back on the Republican side. So I say, damn the torpedoes. Let's get what we want for a change, and we can fix it.
You and Warren Buffett, we should take heart that Warren Buffett, the sage of Omaha,
me and him.
Who was asked, what if all else fails and we actually do go past, and all the taxes are raised, even on the middle class? He said, well, we're a resilient nation. And as far as those at the top 2%, the president campaigned on that, and he said, look, I don't know any rich person that's ever come to me, the richest person in the world, and said, I'm not going to make that investment because there's a few more taxes attached to it. He just has never had the experience. He doesn't think the American economy would suffer even if the worst case scenario were to take place.
And go back to that. If you raise the tax, I can never remember, 4% on the top 2% or 2% on the top 4%, who can remember? And nobody should, because it isn't enough money to make a dent in this $16 trillion debt we've got.
It's more symbolic, don't you think?
Exactly.
On behalf of the president,
it is largely symbolic.
Point of
I'll
view,
tell you something.
it's symbolism.
That alone will, no matter what my fellow Republicans say, it's not going to wreck the economy. But I'll tell you what it will do, with no spending cut, significant spending cut. The thing that is growing 2.5 times faster than federal revenue is health, education, welfare, and including entitlements.
William Kristol,
Till you cut them, you're going broke.
Neoconservative William Kristol, editor, publisher of the Weekly Standard, said on Fox News, hey, Republicans can't argue with a tax increase for people making $1 million a year or more. They would be stupid to do so, and it's not going to hurt the people.
And he said half of them live in Hollywood.
He said, yeah, half of them didn't vote for Romney, and the other half live in Hollywood.
$700 billion is a significant amount
They just
of
need
money.
to have it.
Whether you think so or
Total
not.
package.
I guess we don't know at this point what's going to happen by the end of the year.
We'll see in a few
Crystal
weeks.
balls are in short supply here. Kansas City Star political writer Steve Kraske is thinking about the election just finished and demonstrating that the 2016 campaign is already underway. Steve points to the latest and likely first Iowa poll showing Hillary Clinton 41 points ahead of Joe Biden. Closer to home, Kraske is suggesting there are already front-runners in the Missouri governor's race 4 years from now. Attorney General Chris Koster is deemed the Democratic favorite, and Lieutenant Governor Peter Kinder seems most likely at this point to be the Republican nominee. Does this surmise seem to be a reasonable one by Mr. Kraske? Woody?
Well, any surmise is reasonable 4 years out. That's what's so much fun about it. You just got the whole world to play in, and the world.
Well, if I were to ask you at this point, do you think these two are
thinking about running?
Is she again?
Yeah. Blaine Luetkemeyer, congressman from 1/8 of Missouri that stretches damn near across the state is thinking about running. Vicky Hartzler somebody in her behalf has thrown her name in the ring. So there are other people. Congressmen violate the Tom Osborne rule, of course. Tom Osborne could have been elected God in Nebraska after he left the football program. Then he went to Congress, came back and ran for governor and lost. Going to Congress is kind of the reverse of baptism. You know, it puts sins on you. It doesn't take them away. And so it's not, I don't think that's a good idea. If I were Luetkemeyer Hartzler, I wouldn't be talking about running for governor. Catherine Hanaway would be a formidable candidate in a Republican primary.
Former Secretary of...
Speaker of the House.
And
now she's been the U.S. Attorney in St. Louis. That's the Claire McCaskill rule. To wash away the sins of having been in the legislature, you go put people in jail. And it works pretty well.
Kinder had some problems, obviously. He was going to run for governor this time
about
around.
Running for re-election after that is that also
about
washes
the preceding.
Let me just.
I mean, they've been brought up, they've been advertised about, and he survived.
Does
and
Koster
in my toast, you'll hear one of the reasons.
At the moment, Woody, and I understand this is easy to surmise 4 years out, but Chris Koster seemed to be the leading Democrat. Do you hear any other names?
Anybody foolish enough on the Democratic side to take him on will get what they deserve.
Chris Koster, former Cass County prosecutor, and then and Republican switched to the Democratic Party.
I predict the Democrats won't have a primary.
Every bit as much as successful as a Democrat as he was a Republican. He has 2 or 3 talents that are just remarkable. Number one is he is a great speaker. And I'm particularly conscious of that fact. He's also clearly running for the office and is lining up support all over the state and the nation. And he will be because he's the prosecutor, the Attorney General of the state, he will be a former.
Couple of quick points here before we wrap this up. Steve Kraske made the point that labeling yourself as a job creator this time around would seem to be something positive, but 2 Missouri businessmen who ran failed, John Bruner and Dave Spence.
Yeah. Well, there are exceptions, but my general rule is politics is for politicians. And Sly James is an exception to that. Mark Funkhauser was the rule, just locally. But you look around the country, and generally, people who have no political experience, unless they have something like what Sly had, a lot of, he was head of the bar. He was involved in civic affairs enough and that he knew politics. But I think businessmen make bad candidates generally. They can't relate to people. They're used to just giving orders.
Yale, one final question, and Woody alluded to it. Steve writes, primaries are killers.
Well, they can be. I mean, one of the things that Clint Zweifel is the other person you hear about, the state treasurer thinking about running for it. But I would agree, Koster is the golden boy at this time. I mean, I commend him. He'll have to run as a Republican to a degree, like Jay Nixon did. So, hey, he was a Republican, so he's halfway there.
And you probably alluded to this earlier in the conversation. He was a Republican at one time.
I believe I shouted that out at
rather
one point.
dramatic switch to the Democratic Party, and it seems to have worked out fairly well for him and, I guess, the party. Well, we say at the beginning of the program that we will talk about the news of the day and the trends of the times. And this next topic represents both. Voters in 2 states, Colorado and Washington, last week approved constitutional amendments to legalize recreational marijuana. Gay marriage proposals were accepted by voters last week in 3 states, Maryland, Maine, and Washington. And when the Senate convenes in January, the first openly lesbian senator will be there, Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin. So are we now living, as Rush Limbaugh would say, on the cutting edge of societal evolution? And what does that mean, if anything, to the bi-state area? Steve?
Well, I think as the Republican Party found out, in pretty graphic terms, that you cannot get in the way of the march of time. And the march of time is as usual, being driven by young people. It was young people that drove the civil rights movement in the 60s. We forget Dr. King was, I think, maybe 31 years old. Freedom Riders were mostly people in college or near college. And the younger generation, when they hear people, absolute curmudgeons like John McCain say that don't ask, don't tell, they don't know. They're going, what are you old people talking about? A gay person can't go defend our country and put their lives on the line? So what the Republicans found is they are running in the 1950s electorate, and the Democrats are now proudly saying we're liberals and we're running in this century, in this decade. And I think we'll see gay marriage be basically the law of the land by the end of this decade, and marijuana be legal everywhere by the end of this decade. And I just think it's just progression. You know,
so
it just happens.
You think gay marriage will be ordained by the U.S. Supreme Court, because Missouri and Kansas both have constitutional amendments forbidding it?
I hope they do, but assuming that they do, say that you can have gay marriage, I think you'll see state after state, and the last states to do it will be the most backward: Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, probably those very conservative, Texas maybe, until we get it.
Kansas, always
Yeah, Kansas.
How about the marijuana question? We're not likely to see that on the Missouri ballot anytime soon, are we?
But I don't know. Again, these things pick up speed, and I think it could happen.
Speed?
No, I'm against speed.
Woody, are there some legitimate concerns about legalizing recreational marijuana?
Yeah, well, sure, some of us think so, but I'm telling you, I'm not terribly troubled by it myself. Look, we get into a position, talking now just about the marijuana issue. We started out this war on drugs. We haven't won, because nobody's noticed. It's like Vietnam. We got 500,000 troops in there, and it's a stalemate. So what are you going to do about it? Well, I've got Republicans saying to me, hey, just legalize, not marijuana, everything. Yeah. And my answer to that is, I don't think I'm ready to go there. But, marijuana, okay. My problem with it is this. I've had friends who became total addicts to crack, so on. And I understand that people smoke marijuana don't become crack addicts, okay? Every one of the ones I know who is one, however, started out when he was 13 years old smoking dope with the rest of the guys out behind
It's the gateway drug argument.
Yeah, and that bothers me. Okay, because I've watched them wreck their lives.
At Yale, the Colorado law about marijuana seems to be in conflict with the federal government's law regarding marijuana. What do you see as the outcome there? Do you think we'll see the supremacy of the federal government prevail?
Well, so far, I mean, that seems to be what they're saying. I mean, the Obama administration is indicating that's what's going to happen, is the federal law would take precedence. I just real quickly disagree with Steve a little bit. I mean, while I'm all for marriage equality and this kind of stuff, I think that Republicans, if you might have noticed, they just controlled all the 60% of the governor's house. They control the House now. They can stop the Senate from doing stuff. I think Republicans, while they didn't do great in this last election, did okay.
All right, it is time now for Roast and Toast, where the Ruckettes speak up and sound off about what's on their minds. Yale goes first this evening.
Well, this is a strong roast, sorry guys, to Mayor Sly James, City Council Member Cindy Serco, and anybody else who thinks it's really okay or even a good idea to steal money from the Raytown School District to build soccer fields in Kansas City. I love the quote from the Raytown School Superintendent said, hey, I've got kids to educate. We can use this money better than the city can. Absolutely correct.
Toast to Lieutenant Governor and Lieutenant Governor-elect Peter Kinder, a Republican, the only Republican in America that I've found to take the advice of the late Rich Nadler, who used to occupy this chair on Ruckus. Rich had an organization of which he was the heart and soul, and I was a mere board member, that tried to convince Republican politicians, including the Republican National Committee and the Bush White House, where he made presentations, that they really ought to go out and see if they could ask a black person somewhere to vote for a Republican and see if it didn't work. The only Republican in America to pay any attention was Peter Kinder, who survived 4 years ago precisely because he did it, and has now again been the only statewide Republican candidate in Missouri to survive another round of elections. Again, part of the reason is he's getting some black votes in St. Louis, where he actually goes out and asks for them.
I want to toast Todd Akin. I want to thank him for exposing what the Republican base really stands for. You know, I'm in the business, of course, in counseling candidates to phrase things a certain way and to couch views so they don't seem too extreme, even though their views may be extreme. And Todd, he is anything but very authentic. And the base of you always hear the term the base. It's only probably about a third of the Republican Party, but he just laid it all out there, and when the public saw it, they were pretty horrified. So thank you, Todd, for making America understand what a certain segment of a certain party really believes.
Because he's retiring from the practice of law and public life, a few hundred of Albert Reeder's very best friends threw a party for him at the Uptown Theater in Kansas City, Missouri last Friday. They celebrated his long life of accomplishment as a prosecutor, a political leader, and an advocate for people, especially those without a voice. It was a great party, and they also celebrated his great capacity for friendship. Albert is, no one who ever went to Albert for help ever came away empty-handed or empty-hearted. So you're a great champion for women and lots of other people, Albert, not just women in public life, and the people in your faith community, your friendship, your family, your service to the public. I am so proud to be counted among your friends.
There have been many reasons put forward to explain Mitt Romney's defeat in the presidential race. He was too moderate. He was too severely conservative. He offended Hispanics. He frightened women with talk of binders. But in all the discussions I've heard, watched, and read, never once has there been a reference to his Mormon faith. If that issue really did not play a role in his defeat, then it is indeed a victory for both Mitt Romney and the American people. And that's Ruckus for this week. Be sure to join Nick Haynes for Kansas City Week in Review Friday evening at 7:30. We're off next week for Thanksgiving and hope you have a good one. Back on November 29th. Thanks for joining us, and good night.